The S&P 500 index struggled at the open today. The stock jocks were experiencing some confusion about whether Saudi Arabia's crude price cut due to weak demand was a positive or a negative for the U.S. economy. Saying demand for crude is weaker than expected suggests an economic slowdown, but most of that may be coming from outside the United States. Paying less for gas at the pump gives U.S. consumers more disposable income to spend on other goods, which is an overall plus, in my opinion, for U.S. growth. Investors came to that conclusion later in the day, but opinions shift with them easily with small breezes. What is frequently overlooked when forming a big picture view, which is the most important one, of where the U.S. economy is heading, is how much disposable income consumers have after debt service payments. For the past decade or so, I have been discussing in my blog the benign long-term impacts on consumer spending and U.S. growth resulting from the tsunami of mortgage debt refinancing at abnormally low rates. Most of these mortgages would be either 15 or 30 years, and the 30 years, many of those were at below 4%. The disposable income after mortgage debt service payments increased dramatically for homeowners who had that kind of debt. This statistic may surprise you, but about 39% of households in the United States have no mortgage debt on their primary residence at all, according to the latest census data. And I thought the number was closer to 33%, but I found an article from Axios that described the most current information from the Census Bureau, that the number was actually 39.3% and had jumped from 34.3% over the past decade. That is an Axios article that was published in December of 2023. The savings and disposable income that has resulted from the mortgage refinancing at abnormally low interest rates can be used to fund spending without incurring additional debt, at least up to the amount of monthly savings, which was in most cases substantial, and can be used to pay down debt and or to increase savings. All of those are benign results for the U.S. economy. The same kind of dynamic is at work when consumers spend less on gasoline, heating oil, or other energy products. What I want to see is U.S. consumers spending money that is not borrowed on products or services that actually drive economic growth. So I would agree with the stock jock's opinion formed later in the day that a decline in oil prices is an overall positive for the U.S. economy.